Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome again to the Mojo Ads 2023 State of the YAYA. We're Team Lark. I'm Abby Blassingame, the account manager.
I'm Jack Rintoul, the art director.
I'm Emily Williams, the graphic designer.
And I'm Adriana Montano, our public relations account manager. And on the slides is our copywriter, Abby Proffer.
Mojo Ad is the University of Missouri's full-service student-staffed agency here to bring you original data on everything there is to know about the YAYA market.
Whoa. Hit the brakes. What's a YAYA?
I'm so glad you asked, Jack. YAYA stands for the youth and young adult market and includes any consumer in the 18 to 24-year-old age range. YAYAs are undergoing major life changes, whether that's moving away from home, starting a new career, or just figuring out who they want to be.
The State of the YAYA is an in-depth annual research report that looks at trends among the YAYA market. Through our methodology, we distributed a 60-question survey via Qualtrics nationwide that achieved over 800 respondents. We utilized a number of secondary sources such as Mintel, Pew Research Center, the Journal of Financial Planning, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
All right, let's make sure we have everything then. Nationwide survey on the YAYA demographic? Check. One-of-a-kind insights on life milestones? Check. Stellar team of Missouri School of Journalism students? Check.
Welcome to In the Driver's Seat. Join us as we take a cross-country road trip exploring the life milestones of the modern YAYA. Now, let's hit the road.
At first glance, the road ahead looks rocky for YAYA individuals. Growing up during a financial recession, a pandemic, and their fair share of political and environmental issues, there are many obstacles that can get in the way of their outlook on life.
These factors even affect their views on having a family down the road, with YAYA's main concerns towards having kids being an unsafe world, unsafe schools, and the cost of raising a child, with over half of our respondents reporting that the overturning of Roe v. Wade has made them question whether or not they want kids.
Despite these odds, nearly 3/4 of YAYAs believe that it's possible to manifest a happy life, with nearly a quarter strongly agreeing. Even with all of this uncertainty, our travelers are focusing on personal growth in order to sustain a positive outlook.
YAYAs are determined to hit all the stops on their trip, and the practice of manifestation has been a driving force in allowing them to establish these goals and make them a reality.
In case you aren't one of the billions of views on TikTok, manifestation is the practice of thinking aspirational thoughts with the purpose of making them real.
Now, don't confuse their optimism with ignorance. YAYAs view manifestation and mindful thinking as their survival guide to adult life because, to put it bluntly, they can't afford to be negative.
In order to connect with YAYAs, marketers should veer away from cynicism and connect through their practical optimism, which We The Urban does through their social media and their merchandise.
Next up, we'll be stopping for food at the 9 to 5 diner. Just like taking a pit stop gives drivers the energy they need to continue their road trip, YAYAs see their career as something that propels them forward. When asked how they define a successful life, the #1 response was having a successful career. Similar to looking at a menu, YAYAs face many choices regarding their career.
Our YAYA road trippers are very particular about what they want, and they aren't afraid to negotiate price, with 64% of respondents saying they feel confident in negotiating their own salary. Not to mention, a majority said they feel unpaid internships are unethical, and more than half said they would join a labor union if given the opportunity.
These days, the line between one's personal social media account and their professional one is getting thinner. While a majority of our respondents believe that what they post on social media shouldn't matter to their future employers, 59% said that what they post could hurt their chances of getting a job, and over half would agree that they could get fired for what they posted.
And when it comes to employer-employee relationships, YAYAs expect transparency and communication to be a two-way street. Over half of YAYAs said that a company's social media presence influences them on whether or not they would apply for a job there. For insight on a day in the life at a company, YAYAs are utilizing social media platforms such as TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram more than LinkedIn.
TikTok is one of the top platforms that YAYAs use for job-related info, with nearly a quarter of our respondents saying they use it to find interview tips, as opposed to just 7% who use LinkedIn. The takeaway? Employers need to meet YAYAs where they already are because their job hunts are happening as they scroll through their feeds. That means it's time to venture beyond just LinkedIn.
One company that's aced this is athleisure brand Fox & Robin, who showcase their corporate culture through humorous videos on TikTok. And they've built over 50,000 followers solely through content about their work environment.
While HR professionals such as @HannahGetsHired on TikTok have built their brand around providing interview and negotiation tips, there's a lack of employers in this space. That means there's a major opportunity for employer brands to position themselves as a helping hand in the YAYA job search.
YAYAs are revved up and ready to take on their careers, but their finances often make them feel like they're running on empty. While millennials were all about taking the scenic route, YAYAs are at a crossroad between reaching financial stability and making up for lost time from the pandemic.
YAYA respondents said that gaining financial independence is central to their definition of a successful life. However, they're still trying to make up for lost time from the pandemic, with 55% saying that they have a bucket list, topped with plans to travel and experience new things.
With these conflicting goals, YAYAs are struggling as they venture through the finance frontier. 88% say they struggle to pay their bills, and 79% reported that they don't actively budget their money. However, this isn't due to a lack of knowledge, as only 7% say they don't know how to budget.
YAYAs feel financial pressures in many aspects of their lives, with 45% saying they have reduced meals or cut down on food to save on money. Not to mention, more than 1/3 have put off going to the doctor for financial reasons, and 30% have moved back home with family for those same reasons.
The top reasons YAYAs cite struggling to pay bills are high inflation, keeping up with other expenses such as groceries or utilities, and not being paid enough. As a result, YAYAs are turning to other ways of saving money and rethinking their views on living with their family, with the majority agreeing that living with your parents is financially responsible and that it's okay to do so as long as it takes to become financially stable.
So, what are the implications of this?
YAYAs are seeking ways to take back the wheel when it comes to their finances. As they struggle to keep up with competing costs, marketers need to be aware of how and why the product or service they're selling fits into YAYA's limited budgets.
IKEA is appealing to our money-minded passengers with their recent inflation-proof campaign, which demonstrates that despite inflation, they haven't steered away from their original prices.
YAYAs have only ever known a digital world, but this does not mean they want a digital life. Gen Z individuals desire organic connections, with 2/3 of our respondents saying they want to meet someone out casually rather than being set up by friends, and over half agreeing that dating apps are for hookups only.
In fact, 63% of YAYAs are concerned about the safety of online dating apps, with women more concerned than men by 10%. And when it comes to whether or not YAYAs believe that dating apps can lead to a serious relationship, they're evenly split, with 51% agreeing.
But overall, getting married and having kids is further on the horizon for YAYAs. While nearly 2/3 want to get married someday, they're not in a huge rush to do so, with the average age they plan to both get married and have kids falling at around 29 years old.
Tinder is looking to win over YAYA dating app skeptics with their recent It Starts With the Swipe campaign, which shows how a simple swipe can lead to a serious relationship by showcasing seemingly small milestones, like leaving a toothbrush at their place.
No matter what turns they take, all roads lead to home for our YAYA travelers, with a majority agreeing that buying a home is essential to their version of the American dream. And although the sense of home may vary, it is crucial as YAYAs face an uncertain and post-pandemic world.
And despite being digital natives, YAYAs are not on board with digital platforms tracking their every move, like a hitchhiker waiting silently on the side of the road, eager to tag along and listen in on them. Over half of YAYAs are concerned about their lack of data privacy, with 63% concerned about their personal identity being stolen on social media or the internet, and 64% concerned when they see an ad related to something that they had just said, with an equal amount about their data appearing in a data breach.
But despite their wariness, over half of YAYAs want smart home devices in their house. Whether it's Ring doorbells or Amazon's Alexa, YAYAs accept these new devices in order to prioritize physical security. One interviewee said, "I'm not really worried about data privacy with something that's an appliance in your home when they have my phone. My data is online regardless."
After so long on the road, YAYAs are seeking a comfortable home base. Buying a home is a little further down on their list of stops, with the average age of expected homeownership falling around 29. However, that doesn't stop YAYAs from envisioning their future dream home. And while they still want to prioritize living in the moment and traveling, 56% of YAYAs reported that the home they live in is more important than where they live. Not to mention, nearly 2/3 said that they would rather have a mortgage than pay rent.
Overall, Yayas view their home as a protective fortress that keeps them steady in the world speeding by. Owning a home is a long-term goal that keeps them grounded. In the meantime, they are making money to create their future dream home. Marketers can take advantage of this by promoting an idea of coziness and comfort.
For example, actress Drew Barrymore uses her aspirational lifestyle through her brand Beautiful, a line of affordable yet refined kitchenware sold at Walmart.
A lot happens between the ages of 18 and 24. For many, this is a period of packing up and hitting the road in search of something new. As they navigate adult life, they're ultimately discovering who they are along the way.
As they're leaving one home, they're finding another.
By better understanding the modern-day road trip to adulthood, marketers and employers can better relate to Yayas and their unique goals, struggles, and motivators in a much deeper way.
Now, let us set the stage for Team Aura for insight into YAYA entertainment and culture through their report. Standing ovation.
Hello, and thank you again for joining us today. We are Team Aura. I'm Lily Williams, the account manager.
I'm Ivana Momtaj, the quantitative strategist.
I'm Delaney Earhart, the copywriter.
I'm Samantha Novak, the art director.
I'm Olivia Hafner, qualitative strategist.
And I'm Bella Hatzagiorgio, the content manager.
The Spotlight has connections to theater, cinema, and celebrity culture, with the term in the spotlight meaning to be the center of attention. Today, the rise of social media and internet fame has made it so that anyone can find themselves under the gaze of the spotlight and everyone can have their main character moments.
We are directing the spotlight and bringing to the surface components of youth culture, such as their use of social platforms and global media to find community and expression. Culture is an ongoing and lifelong performance, played out on the stage of social media, where Yaya's front stage personas are internet identities that serve as extensions of their backstage selves.
Our research of youth and young adult attitudes and behaviors towards culture and entertainment found that Yayas step into the spotlight and share that limelight with others, telling their stories on stage under the watchful eyes of an audience, with nothing to be left in the dark. Through countless internet niches and cores, Yayas audition identities and connect with others center stage.
Here, Yayas navigate the ways in which creative expression, parasocial relationships, artificial intelligence, and internet niches play a role in their lives. Lucky for you, Team Aura is giving you a front row seat into the backstage lives of Yayas. Introducing Standing Ovation.
In our first act, we find that Yayas are in search of an expressive escape, turning to creativity as a means to control their time and identity. Since the pandemic, Yayas have been learning new skills and craving creative, cathartic experiences.
Through our survey, we found the top creative activities Yayas throw themselves into are painting, drawing and doodling, playing video games, and baking or cooking.
This collective need for expression bonds Yayas to their identity while strengthening community connections, as 60% of Yaya adults see that creativity helps connect them to others. Sometimes Yayas need a new muse as they look for new ways to express their creativity. These new avenues are likely to be found online, with 70% saying that they turn to social media for creative inspiration.
With inspiration comes comparison, as more than half of Yayas say they feel the pressure to make their lives more interesting. Social media illuminates this discrepancy, as more than half of Yayas say they feel they're behind in life compared to those they see on socials. To make up for this FOMO, Yayas say they feel they need to spend more money to keep up with their peers.
As our intrepid Yayas seek their starring roles to live in the moment, their top 3 barriers are money, mental health, and time.
Marketers should provide opportunities for Yayas to showcase the brand as an extension of their own creative expression, with customizable products and experiences.
Imagine this hypothetical. Hydro Flask, a popular brand among Yayas, releases its new product, Doodle Drink, a customizable water bottle paired with paint pens. Yayas are encouraged to post their bottles online with the hashtag Doodle Drink to naturally join a community of artists and to produce user-generated content for Hydro Flask showcasing the product's debut.
Marketers should capitalize on creativity to create community, not competition. Yayas will feel supported, knowing they each have the ability to find each other in creative spaces of the spotlight.
In Act 2, we see Yayas playing out the parasocial paradox, where Yayas love to hate celebrities and influencers while simultaneously aspiring to play their roles. In pop culture and entertainment, the line between celebrity, influencer, and the average Yaya blurs, as almost everyone is equipped with the tools to rise to fame.
Yayas enjoy watching others in the spotlight, even when it's so bad we could hardly look away. As a form of entertainment, Yayas hate watch influencer content and consume content that intentionally annoys them while bonding with others over these shared dislikes. Even though they're self-proclaimed haters, a majority of Yayas feel they could actually be friends with influencers or celebrities and see elements of themselves in them.
When Yayas like celebrities and influencers, it's more than just a virtual relationship. In our survey, a majority of YAYA respondents said they felt inspired by them and knew who they were as people.
And because our Yayas feel they know influencers pretty well, they view them as real-life besties, with over half of Yayas valuing when influencers and celebrities reveal the messy and imperfect parts of their lives. Yayas get annoyed when influencers try to paint a perfect picture. They are drawn to all the juicy behind-the-scenes deets to break the fourth wall between content viewers and content creators.
Yayas pride themselves in seeing through the smoke and mirrors, as 64% of respondents said they believe influencer posts are scripted. Some influencers are truly unfiltered, which can affect their social media status and get them #canceled. However, 51% of respondents still consume content from canceled creators.
Yayas scroll when they see hashtag sponsored unless the content fits in seamlessly with the creator. To combat this distrust, marketers should instruct influencers to go off script and speak their truth about a product to strengthen the parasocial bond.
Marketers should also emphasize de-influencing, which is the act of discouraging certain purchases. By leveraging this refreshing content, marketers can avoid situations such as Mascaragate, a TikTok mascara brand deal where beauty influencer Michaela Nugaira was caught in the spotlight using false lashes. And between you and me, she also faked her thick Boston accent. Influencers should convey that not every product is perfect for every consumer.
Entering into the third act, YAYA's exploratory nature places them on the frontier of uncharted territory, the world of artificial intelligence. Here, YAYAs and AI are co-stars in the new scene of pop culture and entertainment.
As digital natives, Yayas are skeptical about how this new relationship will play out. Yaya views on AI are split, as survey results revealed that 61% of Yaya adults are open to using AI. However, 59% said they are still skeptical of the new technology.
Even though some Yayas are unsure of this development, they still interact with AI and AR unknowingly through filters, effects on social media, and personalized content recommendations. However, when it came to features like virtual try-on technology, they were much less invested.
Regarding to how AI will affect Yaya's lives, 55% of Yaya respondents are concerned AI will eliminate jobs for their future generation, while 50% believe it is ethical to use AI on a school assignment.
While Yayas recognize AI as a useful tool, they're wary that artificial intelligence might become the star of the show.
Yayas believe originality is uniquely human. Because Yayas may experience anxiety and fear around AI, marketers should emphasize AI's benefits without using it to replace traditionally human roles.
Snapchat is an example of a brand that missed the mark with its AI chatbot, positioning it as a user's unreal best friend. Because Yayas are wary of AI being used as a replacement for human interaction, this feature is likely to disinterest the audience in that way.
On the flip side, Yaya's value in AI benefits their personal development. Duolingo launched Duolingo Max, which mimics real interactions in foreign languages, allowing users to develop their speaking skills through artificial conversations.
When creating AI-generated content, marketers should be transparent about the intent and operation to gain Yaya's trust. Yayas must be able to see both the light and dark sides of AI to learn how they can co-star alongside each other.
In our fourth and final act, we find that Yayas aspire to be the main character while also looking for a cast or community to be a part of, seeking safe spaces to connect and create relationships both digitally and in real life.
On social media, they craft their aesthetics, cores, and appearances while interpreting those of others. They scroll through comment sections, looking for validation from those whose interests align with their own, which fuels conversations.
Finding their identity is everything to Yayas, as once they find themselves, they can find their community. Yaya's top forms of internet community interactions stem from music, video games, and TV.
Yaya's need for connection shines online, as 46% say they identify with a specific internet community. These groups attract Yayas because they help connect them to others and are a way for them to express themselves. For some, this can manifest into the curation of an online niche, as 55% say they actively think of their aesthetic on social media as a means of expression.
Yayas find community in places they can't physically be in through gaming and cross-cultural entertainment. Yayas use gaming as a means of escaping, entertainment, and stress relief. And with the rise in female gamers, we found similar attitudes between genders when it comes to gaming.
Yayas use cross-cultural entertainment as a shared interest between them and their friends. The top types of foreign media content include anime, Spanish language music, and K-pop.
Marketers should provide Yayas with interactive ways to engage with these interests, to shape their identity both digitally and in person. Comment sections on social media are an opportunity for these organic interactions with YAYA communities.
Marketers can collaborate with foreign media content in a way that links different niche groups together. A prime example of this is Naruto, which collaborated with Air Jordan to mesh the anime and basketball communities together. Their new line of shoes fit perfectly with collaboration partner and player Zion Williamson and his interest in anime. It was a slam dunk for Yayas.
To reach Yayas from the audience, marketers should spark creative expression while also speaking candidly about products. Marketers should recognize Yaya's apprehension towards AI and be careful to use it in ways that honor human authenticity. Lastly, marketers should blend different niches to reach a wider audience on a worldwide scale.
On the stage of pop culture and entertainment, Yayas can broaden their horizons and transcend geographical and cultural boundaries. Thanks to these newfound communities, Yayas have the confidence to step into the spotlight and shine it on to what matters to them.
Look, Lily, it looks like the stars are aligning for our next presentation. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in for 5, as Syzygy shows you how to tend to your garden of health and wellness.
Hi everyone, and thank you again for joining us here today. We are Team Syzygy, and we are beyond excited to share our findings on the YAYA consumer market with you all. My name is Lexi Simmons, and I work as an account manager here at Mojo Ad.
My name is Jahazi Whitehurst, and I'm a qualitative strategist.
My name is Colin Clark, and I'm the digital strategist for our team.
My name is Grace Chapo, and I work as a content manager.
I'm Madeline Murray, and I'm the quantitative strategist.
And my name is Hannah Barnes, and I'm the public relations account manager.
While getting to know us may be an added bonus, let's get into the real reason why we are all here today. Our topic, health and wellness, is constantly evolving. With new technology, supplements, and most importantly, mindsets, there are important factors that need to be recognized and understood in order to target a demographic that is prioritizing their health and wellness more than ever.
Previous generations, like our parents, may have viewed health as untamable or uncontrollable, as if it were a force. In contrast, YAYA consumers have an abundance of knowledge at their disposal to help aid their health and wellness. YAYAs want the ability to control and tend to their own gardens of health based on their personal needs. Introducing Cultivating Control, which describes the YAYA's need to prioritize personalized and functional approaches to their health and wellness routines.
However, our survey shows a disconnection by proving that wanting to do something doesn't always provide the motivation needed to complete a task when it comes to Yayas. 68% of respondents stated that taking care of their health is a priority in their daily lives, while 61% say what they want to do for their health and what they actually do are usually different. This disconnection continues to sprout, with 62% of respondents saying they feel in control of their health and wellness, and 53% saying that their ideal health and wellness is something that they strive for but continue to find unattainable.
The reason more than half may find their ideal state of health and wellness unattainable may be due to the several barriers we uncovered in our research findings, with the top 3 reasons being anxiety, lack of time, and financials. These barriers are assumed to be caused by the overabundance of knowledge that is showering down on YAYA cultivators. Specifically, 55% of our respondents stated that they feel overwhelmed by the amount of health-related information available to them. All of this information gives YAYAs a deeper understanding and a wider range of perspectives than older age groups. And this is why 71% of our respondents stated that the way they define health and wellness is different than older age groups.
Like any good gardener, Yayas must sort through all of these sources, weeding out ones they don't trust. Although 74% of respondents said they trust medical professionals, this doesn't necessarily lead to regular checkups, as 55% said they avoid going to the doctor if they can.
A similar story can be found with their parents, who they trust, even if they don't utilize them as a resource. Even social media, which is used by nearly all of Yayas, got pruned, as 58% deem it an untrustworthy source.
With trusted information hard to come by, YAYA cultivators are often doing it alone, reaching for their ideal routines only to be left with their realities. Our research showed that although Yayas are working out, focusing on their diet and nutrition, and journaling, they wish they were meditating, doing yoga, and manifesting more. But brands can aid YAYA cultivators in watering their gardens, and some have already accomplished it.
Like Whoop, a wearable device that monitors recovery, sleep, training, and health, all while providing personalized recommendations and feedback. Or Switch, a science-backed journal that supports mental and emotional health through things such as self-love, monitoring emotions, building routines, and more. Even with the vast amount of information that's available to them, nearly 70% of Yayas continue to view wellness as an overall vehicle to their health. So they strive to take care of their mental health and physical health simultaneously.
With over half of YAYA cultivators taking care of their health because it improves their mental and physical function, it's clear that this is a priority. Additionally, 57% of respondents said they're more concerned with how their bodies feel than how they look, and 54% said they work out to move their body, not to look fit. In the past, this drive to actively try to take care of both their mental and physical health has often been done with help from pharmaceuticals. However, in this year's survey, we learned that more than half of respondents said they are tired of taking pills.
This shift from traditional medication has led to an increase in YAYA's usage of natural remedies to improve their health. They're tired of worrying about the potentially negative effects of one-size-fits-all solutions such as pills on their health. Now, YAYAs are paying acute attention to individual ingredients and the effects they have on their lives, while also practicing instant gratification. YAYAs are also seeking specific benefits from these ingredients, with the top picks being hydration, energy boosting, and a calming or relaxing effect.
Yayas are finding these benefits in other ways, with 71% saying it is important to add nutrients into their diets. And with supplement use on the rise for this age group, 61% say that supplements give them a sense of control. But rather than traditional methods, more than a quarter of our YAYA respondents stated that they prefer to take their supplements in the form of gummies or as a part of their diet naturally. Overall, YAYA cultivators are looking to implement a variety of these health and wellness benefits into their routines.
Marketers should adopt a customized perspective by implementing brand initiatives and products that avoid a one-size-fits-all approach. Some companies that have succeeded in this include Care Of, a brand that sends personalized supplements straight to your door. O Positive, a company that offers a fun, effective, and delicious way to treat women's health. And Row, a company that focuses on health products and supplements for men.
Though Yayas are consistently planting new additions into their health and wellness gardens, some are choosing to uproot others that don't provide any benefits to them, such as alcohol. Consequently, the Sober Curious movement has been a driving force of change for the YAYA market. We found that nearly 70% of respondents said that being present or in the moment impacted their overall health and wellness. Additionally, 62% of respondents would choose a non-alcoholic beverage in a social setting if it's available to them.
And 55% of respondents said that they would participate in a prolonged period of sobriety, such as dry January. Cutting out alcohol has opened the gate for tasty and healthy drink alternatives. Olipop, a new twist on sugary sodas and alcoholic beverages, is currently one example on the market.
Already, it's clear that natural substances are more appealing as alternatives to cultivating health and wellness for YAYAs. This now includes substances like cannabis. With the decrease in stigma towards the cannabis industry and it now being legal recreationally in 21 states and counting, marketers should look to invest in cannabis products that serve different yet important purposes for YAYA cultivators and meet them where they are.
We found that 51% of respondents agreed that if a substance helps them with how they live their lives, it doesn't matter how it might affect other people's lives. Given this change in traditional thinking, it's inevitable that YAYAs would start to lean towards cannabis or cannabis-infused products. Previously, cannabis has been used primarily for recreational purposes, but our research has shown that YAYAs are using it as a tool for their mental health, for their physical health, or to cope with stress.
One brand currently tackling this area is Kiva Confections. Kiva prides themselves on making cannabis products for every moment in life. And with their personalized virtual bud tender, Kiva is able to aid customers in finding the perfect edible for any occasion or effect desired. All of these health and wellness behaviors, especially those helping to ease the anxieties and stressors in the lives of Yayas, fit seamlessly into the evolution and concept of holistic health.
Holistic health encompasses many things, including gut health, which nearly half of our respondents suffer with, and sleep, which 64% struggle to get enough of. Belly Welly, a company that offers a delicious way to fuel your gut microbiome using the power of probiotics and clean ingredients, is currently trying to solve some of these issues. But even so, when it comes to health and wellness, a majority of our respondents said they just want to feel okay so they can make the most of present experiences.
As you can see, every individual's garden is curated to their specific needs. Cultivation and tending of these concepts give YAYA cultivators the ability to take back control of their environments. Yayas are starting to fight back against the overconsumption of information that impacts them daily, and have now chosen the substances and ingredients that best support their ever-changing needs.
Cultivating control is just the start of getting to know what makes Yayas bloom. It's important to remember that they are ever evolving and will continue to bud over time. We appreciate everyone for joining us here today as we shed some light on YAYA Cultivators' Garden of Health. And from all of us here at Mojo Ad, we truly thank you. Now, we will open the floor to questions.
We'll take questions from inside the room as well. So if anyone has questions, just let us know. Raise your hand. We'll take the mic to you.
Among all of you, what insight stood out as the most surprising, either positive or negative?
I can start. From the health and wellness section, definitely the information regarding the Sober Curious movement, finding that over half would choose a non-alcoholic beverage in a social setting, and just that concept of even participating in prolonged periods of sobriety. We found that with college-age students and people who are recently graduated, that was something that shocked us, and it's definitely an opportunity for marketers and brands to capitalize on this and tailor their products to kind of fit that lifestyle and the ever-changing needs of Yayas.
Something that we found interesting from Home and Life was that Yayas are really prioritizing the home they live in rather than the city they live in. We found that with millennials, they were more kind of, we want to go off to this cool city and they don't mind living in like a tiny studio apartment or something. But since the pandemic, we found that they are really prioritizing making an area that is comfort and coziness to their own self.
And then from culture and entertainment, we expected to find differences between YAYA's affections for celebrities and influencers, but we were really surprised to find that they were actually similar, and it really came down to the content that made a difference in how much they trusted them.
Okay, we've got some questions from online. Was there a strong opinion on working from home versus hybrid versus in-person work that the team saw?
That actually wasn't an issue that we addressed specifically with our survey. That was more so something we asked in our focus groups and our qualitative research. We thought there's a lot of secondary research out there about whether or not this age group wants to work from home. And really what we found in that secondary that was affirmed by our focus groups and in-depth interviews was that one of the challenges with early career professionals is that everybody loves the flexibility of working remotely in that hybrid schedule, but at least, they want some in-office, in-person interaction in order to really get to know their coworkers, make friends, and advance in their career, with that being such a high priority in their lives.
For all the teams, did you find any differences between younger Yayas and older Yayas?
Yes, absolutely. One thing you might have noticed is all of the ages we said that they wanted to accomplish getting married, having kids, and buying a home were all 29. We had a whole question that was about ages and ranking that age or actually assigning a number to the age that they wanted to accomplish a certain life milestone. And when we split that, not all of them were 29, by the way. It usually ranged from like 25 to 29, but all of the life milestones on average wanted to be accomplished before their 30th birthday. But when you broke that down by the youngest half of YAYAs and the oldest half of YAYAs, all of the numbers were younger for the youngest half, and all of the numbers were older for the oldest half. So I really think that's more of an issue of 18-year-olds and other people just being like, oh, that's 5 years in the future, and then just keep pushing it back and back.
On the culture and entertainment side, we go into more detail on this in our plan book, but we found that younger YAYAs were more concerned about how they're perceived on social media in terms of like their aesthetic and just the different niches and cores that they identify with. So it was just skewed higher for the younger YAYAs.
And as a reminder, the reports from all the teams are now available on the Mojo Ad website. Here's another question. Do you think an increase in marketing and promotion of marijuana to YAYA plus others will lead to legislation in those states in which it is still illegal?
I would say that there might be an increase. I mean, I feel like we will see in the 21 plus states that are legalizing recreational marijuana that these states are having a huge increase in capital. They're earning massive taxes on it. Like Colorado has fixed all of their roads just from their weed sales since they have legalized it. So I think it would definitely be a good idea in the future.
I also think with the legalization kind of does away with some of the stigma surrounding marijuana and, you know, the cannabis industry. And I think that's something that companies could capitalize on and really start to use as a tool for their mental health, their physical health, and to allow people to cope with stress. You know, it's something that people are kind of working into their daily lives now more than ever. So just kind of staying up with the times and making sure that, you know, you're kind of having like an open environment for those who choose to use cannabis as a tool to help them be the best version of themselves.
Question from one of our VML-YNR alumni. What are the biggest forces in their lives that are causing YAYAs to rage against a stress-filled culture?
I think one of the big issues that we found was sort of the basis for a lot of milestones that YAYAs are looking to achieve is that sense of financial stress and financial anxiety, because they said the number one thing that they would define a successful life as is having that successful career. And we sort of saw the backing as being able to establish those financial goals. And we also thought the emphasis on, you know, home ownership was something super interesting that we didn't necessarily expect. And that is a really big financial goal. And so this age demographic has grown up, you know, with the 2008 recession being a very core memory. And then, of course, the pandemic, seeing everybody lose so many jobs. So they're really trying to create that sense of stability however they can with finances.
In terms of health and wellness, obviously, because of the past 4 years, we've experienced a lot of anxiety and stress in terms of our health. But a lot of that for YAYAs comes back to control, which is what we've seen through all of our reports. And I think using their health and wellness and in terms of like using their individual ingredients to alleviate their own health stresses instead of having to stress over paying and affording to go to the doctor is something that the YAYAs are definitely focused on.
I think also something we found is that YAYAs are consuming a lot of information from a lot of different perspectives and sources on social media. And they're hearing information that is contradictory. They're hearing information that they feel their legislatures aren't supporting them enough. They feel that influencers are being fake to them. And they're fed up with it because they just want people to be real with them. And they're seeking ways for them to be more of themselves and express more of their whole selves. So I think that more transparency and can help alleviate some of those concerns.
So speaking about social media and and everybody being fed up with it. Do you guys have a sense of how it affected or is changing in terms of the different things you looked at? Is it becoming more significant, less significant, creating more anxiety, less anxiety, that kind of stuff?
I would say specifically from Home and Future Life, one thing that we really found interesting was how YAYAs are using social media for job interview tips and all sorts of different information like that. And I think, maybe 5 years ago, that really wasn't the case, how people were using social media. And I think culture and entertainment can touch on it a little more, but the way that apps like TikTok and Instagram serve as search engines for YAYAs, they've become a much more powerful tool in the sense that we're doing a lot more with social media. It's no longer a place just to post about yourself or see what your friends are up to. We're using social media for everything. We're finding job interviews, we're finding job tips. We're finding job opportunities solely on social media. So I think it's just the way that we're using it has really evolved, and some of those issues from the past are starting to change just because the way younger people are using those apps is just different now.
Yes, and to expand on that, we actually found in our research that social media was used after the pandemic. YAYAs had a lot of anxiety, and using social media as a creative outlet was a way that they really soothed that anxiety. So I think it's all about how social media is used to help the YAYA and how they can personalize it to themselves, and how brands can actually reach out to them through that way by touching on these communities and touching on these niches to let them develop their own sense of self on social media and make it a platform that soothes them instead of causes anxiety.
And also something to note from health and wellness specifically is that from qualitative, we found that social media, with health and wellness sector at least, is the least trusted area for YAYAs. Of course, this kind of makes sense, but we specifically found with qualitative that the reason they're most anxious about social media with health and wellness specifically is because there's so many different people with different bodies and different needs that they're expressing that worked for them, but it may not work for other people. So really for marketers, what's important to note is that is noting the pros and the cons of the products and different routines and different health and wellness regimens that they're speaking to in YAYAs.
Hi, I'm Maddie Haas. I'm the quantitative strategist from Future Home and Life. I just wanted to add too that we also found that for companies specifically or marketers, a very important thing is that social media presence influences YAYA's decisions to apply to a job, to apply for a job. So that's really important to note. Specifically, 56% of YAYAs agreed with that. And they also, like we said earlier, are very much aware of how their professional social media has a huge impact on their chances of getting a job. And they understand too that the line between their personal social medias and their professional social medias is definitely thinning.
Okay, another question. Do YAYAs feel satisfied, dissatisfied, or really didn't have an opinion about overall happiness with government?
That is also something that we specifically did not ask about in our survey, so I can't speak to specific data points, but we definitely saw that they're thinking about a lot of larger scale issues, and that's really affecting their personal choices and their life path that they're creating for themselves. The biggest example of that would be over half of YAYA saying that the overturning of Roe v. Wade made them rethink having kids.
One other online question, then we will get to one in the room. So great presentation. Were there any questions asked about this demo's opinion on higher education? And you all can freelance on that one as well if you want.
No. It's funny, I feel like we have so many data points, but you guys are illuminating a lot of areas. Yeah, we didn't ask specifically about that, but we did hear from YAYAs who both are in universities and colleges and not attending that.
We love the Missouri School of Journalism. Thank you, college. I have learned so much.
We did find also that alternative methods of education on social media was a big reason why YAYAs like to consume that type of content. So they are DIY learners as well.
Hello, Dustin. Amazing presentations, everyone. Thank you for all your hard work. It was really enjoyable. An insight that I thought was super interesting, I think came from the first presentation, was that the majority of YAYAs feel they know how to budget, but they don't actively do it. Can y'all share any more information that y'all found from that point specifically?
So we thought that contradiction was really interesting. I think when you look at, another milestone that we looked at was gaining financial independence. A lot of YAYAs aren't there yet, but that's something that they're heavily prioritizing. And I think the average age that they hoped to achieve financial independence, I want to say it was around 25. Don't quote me on that. But I think because of that, since we are looking at the 18 to 24-year-old age range, since a lot of them aren't financially independent, maybe they're not handling their own finances. And I think once you are independent, handling your own finances, not having any support from parents, that's when you're really more forced to budget and they'll have to exercise those skills.
Okay. Question. Oh, did you have?
I also wanted to add that we found that manifestation was a practice that YAYAs cling to. 71% said that they believe they can manifest a happy future in life. And so when it comes to those kinds of things like tough pressures with financials and everything, they're kind of, they have sort of a realistic kind of approach to these things. Like they're very much like, I have to cling to manifestation to try to manifest my way through this a bit. But they're very realistic too about their finances.
Jack, I have to mention the dean's office said they love you too. So we've got a question about AI. Did you find any data and or insights relating to artificial intelligence and the way YAYAs are using it?
Sorry. So we focused on, when we were doing secondary research for this, we found a huge gap in the 18 to 24-year-old demographic and how they're perceiving AI. So we made it an essential pillar of what we were researching. And since then, there has been a couple of research studies that have come out that have addressed it. But personally, what we found through our research was that YAYAs are both skeptical and open to using AI. It's a huge juxtaposition. They want to use the benefits, such as for schoolwork, but they're also scared of it, like taking their jobs. So it's really important that marketers are using AI in a way that allows YAYAs to use it to benefit themselves, such as like the Duolingo Max example, but not in ways that kind of infringe on human authenticity, like the unreal best friend.
Okay, we are probably going to take one or two more questions just because we're up against the hour. Here's one related to careers. So in looking at research, it sounds like this market is prioritizing a career over other adult milestones when looking at an employer opportunity. They are preferential to employers offering a competitive salary and career progression. Was there anything else they looked for or that employers could offer to make them more appealing?
Yeah, we definitely found research within the health and wellness area that, having those wellness benefits as well, whether that be health insurance or potentially a gym membership or things outside of their careers that can also help them thrive within their personal lives. We found that 69% of people want to be present or in the moment. So when you give them that platform to be able to succeed on their personal lives, then they're able to show up and be present in their professional lives as well.
In our team's findings, we saw that an authentic social media presence is so important, just in terms of visibility to YAYAs. And so I'd say that that's a huge piece that companies can't miss out on at this point.
Yeah, just to reiterate that, I think we found that social media and that presence that they have on there is such a huge indicator of the career path, whether it's using the brand's products or going to pursue a job there. What they're putting out on social media and putting out into the world is what YAYAs are looking for, and they feel like they can understand that brand better by what they're putting out.
Yeah, I want to reiterate one point that goes back to the original question as far as YAYAs prioritizing their career over other milestones. I think that comes back to, like Syzygy said, that element of control and their career being what they have more control over versus them desiring organic connections for relationships and kids. So they're still looking at employers and seeing how they treat, parents in the workplace and stuff like that. And we specifically found that 86% of YAYAs support having a federal paid parental leave policy. So they're definitely looking at that as an example, even though that might not be something that's on their radar right now.
So, final question. Gaming and music are two of the bigger online touch points. What do you think attracts them to gaming versus TV? And then additionally, do you have any insights on where YAYAs go to build offline community?
So something that I think attracts YAYAs to gaming is that embedded sense of community, whether it's games that provide the ability for the player to chat with other gamers while they're physically playing the game. That's something that definitely attracts YAYAs. But I think more so, when you're not playing the game, you can easily go online and find a subreddit or a Twitter account or an Instagram or a hashtag that connects you with people who also like that game. And it creates this feeling of, community that's not bound by borders or time zones or culture or language. It's really, you can just find people who I like this thing and I'm interested in this thing and I want to talk about it with other people who are interested in this thing. So that's something that I think attracts YAYAs to gaming specifically.
Another one of our implications that we didn't share in the presentation, but you can see in our book on the Mojo website, go visit it, was because YAYAs desire organic connections, marketers should really try and emphasize that. One really good example of that was something that Strava did in partnership with a nonprofit called Girls, as well as the creator and influencer of the Hot Girl Walk movement. They hosted an in-person Hot Girl Walk in order to raise money for this charity on International Women's Day. And it was just a really good example of how marketers can use those online communities to create in-person connection.
Yeah, I think with gaming and music, there's this unique dichotomy of being a unique creative individual and being able to express yourself in the things you like and also be able to connect with anybody. In our focus groups, we found that one of the key attractions towards gaming is the fact that it can be used as a tool to connect with anybody. Anybody can pick up a controller and it builds rapport, it builds a connection with somebody. And I think when you are able to position your company as a place for someone to express themselves and also connect with others, that's a key element where YAYAs are doing it in their own environments, in their social groups, and using your company as a mutual interest.
Just one more specific example of non-online ways to gather community and things like that. The brand Outdoor Voices at their stores, they'll lead jogs and runs and different events like that where people in the community can come meet up at the store and do something like that together. And it can be really popular among YAYAs because we're seeking those in-person connections and finding a community that isn't through our phone as well.
All right. Thank you to everyone who watched online. Thank you to everyone who came in person. That is the end of our 2023 State of the YAYA presentation.